In this video, we're going to be looking at adding your first product to the catalog. We'll do this using the BigCommerce UI and the form, as well as mention the other methods that you can use to create new products. First off, creating products, you're going to have to take into account several considerations. One being, how many products do you have? Do you have 100,000, 1,000, 10? And the complexity of those products. Do you have 10,000 products that have 10,000 options? And how those individual product options are priced and configured. You'll want to take a look at the custom fields you want to add to your product to make it more descriptive, or use in advanced filters in the Pro plan and above. You'll need to take into account how you're tracking inventory and at which locations you're tracking inventory for that specific product, as well as take into account any documents or attachments or specification sheets that might be needed to be attached to that product. And finally, if the customer needs to customize that product in any way, we can also go ahead and configure that when we're setting up a product. So if you want to add a text box where a user can insert a new message, or a embroidery name, just to give an example, that's something we can do when creating our first product. So let's go ahead, and in the left-hand side, you'll see that we have where to view the products in the list that we're viewing right now, the add feature to add a new one, a search feature to search for them, obviously, which we can also do with the filter by keyword search. And we have import and export features, which allows us to bulk import products for either updating or creation, and export products for other systems or analysis. Additionally, we have product categories, options, filtering, reviews, price lists, brands, as well as import and export for updating by SKU. We'll go through each of those separately in different lessons. Right now, we're going to take a look at adding our first product. So we're going to go over to the Add button, collapse the left-hand menu, and you'll see that we have a whole form, ideally situated on a long page form, to set up our product. We'll start by adding our product name, which is a apparel item. And our SKU is going to be 1, 1. The SKU can be the stock keeping unit identifier that you use within your system. This can be a unique SKU to you, or it can be a product part number from the manufacturer. However, we have additional fields for product part numbers such as UPCs, barcodes, and GTINs. We'll look at those further down the form. We can have two different types of products in the BigCommerce platform. You can have a physical product. That is something that you lift up, you can touch, and you can see, and you can sell and ship, or a digital product, which can be delivered via email or other digital electronic medium. We're going to select physical because we're selling an apparel item. Now, we have a default price. The default price will be the base price of the item. Now, if we don't have any variations, that is colors, sizes, or other attributes that this product will vary by, we can set a default price, and that'll be the price that we're selling at. Let's go ahead and set it at $10. In the more advanced pricing we'll see down here, we can set up our cost, which we'll say is $5, our MSRP, which we'll say is $15, and a sale price, which we'll say is $12 or $8. Now let's go back up to the top of our form so we can see the additional fields. Next, we're going to select a brand. We can add a new brand or use one of the brands that are already formed here. We'll go ahead and select a brand here. If we need more brands, we'll have to go back to the brand selection screen down here to create a new brand. If we want to add a new brand, we'll have to go to the brand selection screen down here in the left-hand menu to create and add a new brand to our selection list. We'll set the weight of our item as 1, and remember you can hover over any of the question marks for additional information what value should be used for that field. In the categories, we can select that we want to add this product to the Shop All category, to the bath, or add a new category dynamically. Let's say tops. And now we have a new category there. We'll go down to the What You See is What You Get editor so you can add formatted text to the description of your product. Let's go ahead and just add a description of our product. We can add information about the product as text, highlights as lists, we can format titles as headings, useful for not only SEO purposes, but also for user navigation inside of your product listings. So let's say we have more information here. That is a heading type 3. And we're going to add some more details about this product. And we want that to be indented a little, so we'll indent that. And then we can go back and outdent that. And we can add things like maybe we have custom dimensions we want to add. So we could format that as a heading again. And we could add a table with those dimensions. So maybe we have height up top. Actually, we're just going to put top, bottom, left, right. And we can say this is 2 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, and 3 inches. In that way, we can add more information as a table into our account, and we can add images, either upload or use a source directly from the image gallery. I'm going to add an image of my Einstein over here, and you'll see that when you upload, you get a CDN URL for your BigCommerce. This will be a reference to the live image that's now in the image manager, which we'll touch on further in this course. So now we have our image in there, and we can resize it by grabbing the handlebars and moving them together. So now we have this little image here. And likewise, if we wanted to insert a video, we could do that here, and we can format our text here. So this What You See is What You Get editor is a powerful way to add images, descriptions, and formatted text to your product description at the product level. If we wanted to add images and text to all the product pages, we can do that inside the page editor. Now we want to add images to our listing that represent the product that we're selling. All right, so I just downloaded an image that we're going to upload here. So here's our first image of this product, and we can add as many images that we want, and we can set the image alt text for SEO purposes and for information on hover in this box here. The thumbnail selection allows us to set which image will be shown when the product page loads and which image is shown in the category list view. We'll take a look at those in more detail in a future lesson. Right now, we can add as many images as we want for this particular shirt. So I'll add another one by dragging and dropping it there. So that's the 2 ways we can add them. And now we can add images from a URL as well. So if you have the fully qualified domain name, You can add it in here and paste it, and it will automatically download the image. All right, now onto our product identifiers section. This is where the SKU number and other identifiers can be configured on the product level. We set a SKU of 11, but we might have a manufacturer part number that looks something like this, a product use PC or barcode that looks something like this, and a global trade identification number. And finally, if you are using inventory locations or you have inventory stocked in your warehouse, you can select a bin picking number so that you know which bin to go get that item out of. Once we have our product identifiers set, we can move on to pricing. As we showed you before, setting the cost, sale price, and MSRP are as simple as unhiding advanced pricing. The default price will apply to our single product, and as we configure options for this product and variations, we'll need to assign pricing to each of those variations. Product tax code can be configured here, so if you're using something like Ava Tax to configure your product taxes and shipping destinations, you can set that product provider tax code in this box here. There's more information on those tax properties, and I recommend consulting an accountant before configuring tax properties in BigCommerce. Bulk pricing can be applied if you want to offer discounts for the quantity purchased. So if you want to offer people for purchasing over, let's say, 10 pieces, a 10% discount, and over 20 pieces, a 20% discount, that's something that we can do here by adding a tier. So you'll notice that we have a minimum quantity of 2, a percent discount of 0, and a unit price of 8. We could set a 10% discount here, and our unit price will be $7.20 if they order 3 or more. Now this can be applied per product, but we can also cite price rules for the catalog. So depending on what your use case requires, this might be the way to customize your pricing for different customer groups. Now with that said, we can segment customer groups and have pricing by them specifically. We won't cover that in this episode, in this lesson. If you need more advanced pricing features, there are further apps and add-ons that you can purchase that allow for advanced pricing, conditional pricing per customer groups and other conditions, as well as marketing and sales and promotions. We're moving on to the inventory, and if we click this inventory button, we get to track inventory at the product level or at the variant level. Meaning if we have a t-shirt that comes in red, blue, and green, we can track inventory on the individual variants, the red, blue, and green shirts, or at the t-shirt level at the top level. How your business tracks that will be up to you. And we simply enter the current stock and what we consider a low stock quantity. So if your low stock quantity is 0, that means we're going to be out of stock. If the low stock quantity is 2, it's going to show a user a notification that that product is low in stock if there's 2 or less items available. This can also be set up and configured by the theme developer, so be careful to look at the theme and how pricing is displayed. Now on to the two most complicated aspects of product creation, which is variations and the variant options, as well as customizations. Now, variations are things that vary in color, size, height, length, or any other attribute in which the two products discernibly differentiate each other. The most common example is a t-shirt. A t-shirt comes in small, medium, and large sizes, but may also come in red, blue, and green as additional colors. Those 3 different combinations of sizes and colors give us 9 total variations. Of those 9 total variations, we'll need to decide what we're going to stock, what's going to be sold and not sold. We'll need to manage the prices for individual variations if they are managed at the variant level, or we can manage them at the product level. So now let's just take a look at creating variant options. When we select a variant option, we'll be able to add a variant option, and we're going to say color and select the type as swatch. And now when we do that, we get the options for red, green, and blue. We can add another value, such as purple, and we can select the type of swatch or color that we'll be adding to this swatch type. Now each of these different types has different conditions and different display on the front end of the website. So you'll want to go into your front end of the website or the theme that you're considering and see how each of these different types of product variant combinations are displayed. Let's take a look at how to configure our values for the color swatches. We know that this one's going to be red, so we can click this white box here and select a red color. Same for green, same for blue, and same for purple. Now, if we knew the specific color or hex code that we wanted that swatch to be displayed as, we could simply go and enter that directly in the hex swatch key. Now you also get to select which one is shown by default, so we'll go and select that green is shown by default. Now we have all of our color variants, but our product also comes in different sizes. So we'll need to add a size here. And since it doesn't need a swatch for the size, we'll just leave this as a dropdown. And you see it came pre-populated with small, medium, and large. We'll either have to change those or add new ones to match what our product is. Let's say we added extra large. So now we have our variants. We can go and save variants. And in our variant options, we see that we have color, which is a type swatch, and that has red, green, blue, and purple. And we have an option name of size, which is from a drop-down that has 4 different sizes of small, medium, large, and extra large. Now below this, the system has generated all the possible combinations from our 2 variant options. This means that we get 4 times 4 or 16 options available for this particular product. Now, not everything is going to be saleable. We might have specific combinations that we aren't allowed to sell, or we don't have access to, or are no longer in stock, or whatever the reason might be. We can simply uncheck some of these options here, and they won't be visible on the front end of the website for sale. Once we do know the images or the variants that we have, we can go ahead and add the images per variant. We can go and do that for each of our additional variant images so that every time that a user selects that possible combination, the appropriate image is shown to the user. This is very important, and if you have options with a lot of different products with a lot of different options, this can be very tedious. You might need a better way to do this if you're working with a large catalog. Consider different apps that might be available, or building your own apps to interface with the BigCommerce APIs to do this more efficiently. And likewise, we can set a default price for that variant, and that'll change the price based on that selection in the front end for the user. Now, customizations are modifiers that you can add where the customer can change an attribute of the product. You can think of embroidery, where you want to add a customer's name to a gift selection, or a specific file or logo that wants to be uploaded to a product that you might be selling. You can then add rules to how those modifiers are applied. We're not going to go through that specific customization right now, but in a further lesson, we'll look in detail at how modifiers and rules combine to make powerful customizations for the user. So next is some storefront details, including the search keywords that'll be used within the front end and the back end of the system to find this product. You might want to put t-shirt, logo, embroidered, any other words that might be used to describe this. If you have access to AI models, you can use AI to generate keywords for these specific products. Next, we can go and apply the sort order. That is the order which the product will show up in the category list. So when I'm viewing products in the list view, I'll be able to see this product where I place it in the sort order. A powerful feature of all BigCommerce platform, of the entire BigCommerce platform, is the template layout file, which can be customized by the developer to give you individual layouts per product, allowing you to have very complex landing pages for your individual products or product groups that you're applying them to. The template layout file is one of the most powerful features of BigCommerce, and it can be edited directly in the theme code, or it can be edited and uploaded. We won't go into using custom files in this tutorial, but in our advanced tutorial and our developer tutorials, we show you how to create template layout files. Warranty information is always important for the user and the credit card processing company to have. So make sure to add your warranty information. This can be as detailed or as simple as possible. You can also have links at the bottom of your page to other warranty details. The availability text will show the customer when that item might be available, and you can put in something like usually ships in 3 business days. The condition of the product, whether it's new, used, or refurbished, can be set here, and you can show that condition on the storefront. This can be used for back-end categorization or filtering, or it can be used when sending products out to other channels such as Amazon, eBay, and other marketplaces, where they're required to tell you if the condition of the product is new, used, or refurbished. A very powerful feature of all the product pages is custom fields, and they allow you to specify any information which you want to include on the product pages. Now, product custom fields are used as advanced filters when applying on the Pro account and above. Those advanced filters can be very powerful, but they need to be delicately created when creating custom fields. Any variation in the custom field name will show up in a custom field filter as a separate entry. So if you had length, and you had the same value for these, we would still see filters that are possible with both these values, as well as both these values would show up on the product page. So that's not something that we really want. We'll have to carefully manage our custom fields. But in the custom fields, we can put anything we want. So if we wanted to put a link to a document, we could put this right here, and the user would see that URL. If our theme has the option for displaying that as a link, that could be displayed as a link as well. But generally, custom fields are inserted as plain text in the product page. Any of that plain text can be read or modified by a developer in a custom layout file. Now our next section is the related products, and products can be related automatically using the BigCommerce recommendation system, and that'll automatically show products that are similar to the product that you're viewing. Next, we have the dimensions and weight, which we already put in weight as 1 ounce. And maybe it's 12 inches by 12 inches and 1 inch deep. And those are our product attributes in terms of the dims or dimensions. We can set free shipping for this item or set a shipping price per item. We'll say that the shipping is going to be free. And now we can set the purchasability, whether that item can be bought in your online store through regular users, or you want to take pre-orders with an expected release date. And it'll automatically remove the pre-order notification on the product page when that release date is passed. And you can also set that it cannot be purchased in your online store currently, and you can have a call for pricing label, which can be any text to inform customers of what to do when that product is not available. This can be go and visit a new or updated product, it can be come back soon, or it can be something like contact us. Whatever your process is when purchasing isn't available, that's the message you can show. You can also show the minimum and maximum purchase quantity. So if a user can only purchase 10 of a certain item, you can set that limit here. And if they must purchase 3 of a specific item, you can set the minimum purchase quantity right here. BigCommerce also allows for gift wrapping options, and if you create these will be displayed to the user when they're adding the product to their cart on the product page as well. If you have items that are shipping overseas, you'll want to include the customs information. Here you can set the country, that is the origin country, and the commodity description, as well as any HS tariff codes that are applicable for your destination country. So the harmonized tariff codes allow you to quickly and easily send shipping information and get price quotes from shipping companies within the BigCommerce framework, as well as when you're syncing to other marketplaces or other stores that we'll talk about in a later lesson. We're not going to add this information because we're only shipping to the United States and Canada. Next is search engine optimization. You'll have to take into account that the title is the title used for the search engine title. However, if we want the page title to be shown differently, we can specify that here for SEO purposes. And the page title will be the title shown. So the title and the meta description can be set here, and you can set the URL with all the keywords that you need here as well. The open graph settings are the sharing settings for your product page. This will include the image, the name, and use the meta description or the description of the product for the description and social sharing. So when we click on a share link to Twitter, Amazon, Facebook, or wherever, the open graph sharing settings will dictate what information is shared about that product. So you have granular control over almost every aspect of the product page using the back-end form in BigCommerce. So let's go and view our product now. So we see that we have the brand name, the title of the product, the MSRP, the price that it was selling for, the sale price, and our savings. The whole page layout and everything that comes with this particular theme will vary by the theme that you install. So we're looking at one of the most basic themes where we have some of these features, but other themes will have more diverse features or may lack things that you expect to have. So it's important, very important, to go thoroughly through each theme before you commit to it, using it in production. You'll notice that we have the additional information that we added as both custom fields and in the product identifiers. This information is concisely listed right before the product options and gives you an ability to add more information in one location for each of the products that you're uploading. Now you'll notice that this whole section is where we configure our sizes. And we can select one of these colors, which is one of the swatches that we configured in the back end, as well as a size. We could then add it to my wish list if we wanted to, but we'll have to sign in. Additionally, we can share this to each of these different types of resources, including Facebook, Twitter, email, printer, and Pinterest. Now in our description, we have 2 tabs, one for description and one for warranty information. On the description information, we have the information we entered into our What You See is What You Get editor in the form view of BigCommerce. This allowed us to create customized views of the product information, as well as customized images and insert relevant tables. This allows us a lot of flexibility when designing product pages using the form editor in the back. Now, if we go up to the top, we'll notice that we can design this page in Page Builder or edit the product information. Let's go and design this page in Page Builder. So you'll notice here that we have different places where we can drop Page Builder widgets. We can drop them here in this drag and drop widgets section, over here on the right hand section, and on the bottom of the description. This allows us places to customize each of the product pages without customizing the entire catalog. You'll notice on the top where it says global region, those are the regions where that will appear on all pages within your website. That's great for sale or new information or banners that you want to promote to all of your users, whereas the blue with the hash will only show on the product page that you're working on. So we can go and include a hero banner here. We can include a button over here. And we'd include a custom layout over here where we get 2 columns to lay out text and an image. And all of a sudden, you can see how we can build complex pages very quickly with little or no code. So over here, we can save or we can publish. If we save, this will be available for publishing later, but the new changes won't be active on the front end. Let's go ahead and click Publish. Okay, I just needed to wait. Since I added 2 banners, we're just going to have to delete this one. And we'll go back to Publish. In this case, all of our edits have been made, and we can go up to the top and go to Preview. And now we see what this product page will look like when a customer lands on it. We'll obviously want to do some sprucing up, but we'll do that in later design and development lessons. Right now, you have everything you need to get started with adding products to your catalog. Let's talk about the ways that you can create products in your catalog. We just showed you how to create them manually through the backend UI or the form fields within the form within BigCommerce. However, you have other options, and since BigCommerce is a microservice and there's a whole stack of APIs used for catalog management, the most effective way could be using the API. And in my situation, I've been using BigCommerce since the beginning. I've always preferred to work with the APIs over importing and exporting spreadsheets or manually creating products in the back end. This is typically because I work with very large catalogs with hundreds of thousands of products and millions of SKUs, and the only way to do that effectively is to automate the processes. And I can do that by building scripts and applications that use the BigCommerce APIs to manage our catalog. I could also use apps from external sources that can sync products back to BigCommerce, or apps from marketplaces and other connectors within the BigCommerce add-on store that allow me to import products from other drop shippers, other types of accounts, and other merchant services. And in addition to that, we have importing and exporting via CSV or spreadsheets. You can export data that can be re-imported so that you can update things like titles or variant information. But the most common thing that we're going to use import and export for are updating prices. Whether we have prices at the product level or at the variant level, we can import and export by SKU to update the prices, including the MSRP, the sale price, and the selling price. And once you get a handle on the types of ways that you can manipulate and manage your catalog, as well as import new products, you'll get a handle on the cost associated with your platform. If you have thousands and thousands of products, you can assume that you're going to have a significant cost in managing those products, and that's going to come with the overhead of additional applications and service infrastructure. But once you get a handle on that, budgeting for your app with BigCommerce is easier than others that have different revenue sharing programs. So let's look at managing your product. What are types of questions that you might have to ask when getting started to see if this BigCommerce deal is for you? The way in which you will manage products will largely depend on the number and complexity of the items within your catalog. So, what are some considerations you might ask yourself? Well, is your catalog large? Do you have more than 250 items, and do those items have variations? If so, you could be getting around 1,000 or more SKUs, which might be difficult to manage in the UI itself, and you'll have to manage importing and exporting through CSV files. If you have even a larger number than that, and your pricing is varied by each of those variations and not at the product level, you're going to have to seriously consider how to use the developer APIs to effectively manage all those pricing and product updates. And do your customers require customization or bulk pricing? If those come into play, it might not be so easy to set them up individually if you have lots of products. Again, the size of your catalog is largely going to dictate the tools that you need and the overhead expense incurred in managing those products. While BigCommerce offers you unlimited products and categories, the application is just one part of the management and maintenance for your app.